Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome in general. My name's Alexa and I have a really exciting, fun video planned. I've been thinking about making something like this for a while where I pair a book with a playlist that I've made. I've seen a lot of videos about like taking a playlist or taking an album and then like choosing a book for every song on the album or playlist. But I thought it'd be really fun to just do this with books that I've enjoyed and just make playlists based on the book. I just thought it would be fun, and I started doing it last night and I was having a really good time. So I thought I would share with y'all. The book I'm doing this for is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I just finished this book like 2 or 3 days ago and I can't stop thinking about it. Basically, this book is like a mystery horror, and it's about these 3 sisters who go missing as children and then they reappear a month later. When they reappear, their parents are really happy, but then slowly their father starts to just kind of feel like something's off, and like his children just aren't the same. Like something has changed within that month that they were missing. And so we follow our main character Iris, who is the youngest of the Hollow sisters. There's also Vivi, who's the middle sister, and Gray, who is the oldest sister. So in the beginning of this book, we're just following Iris. Now she's like 17 and her sisters have both moved out. Eventually at some point, their older sister Gray goes missing again. And this is when the 2 sisters kind of have to like take it upon themselves to figure out what had happened. And I really loved this book. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was. I don't know why, I just didn't think I would like it that much, and I ended up loving it. It was so fast-paced, so entertaining. There was just like twists that I did not expect at all, and I just loved it. I gave it 5 stars. So I made a playlist based off of House of Hollow, and I was trying to figure out how many songs I should do for the playlist. So I decided to keep it short, in homage to 8 Tracks, the app I was obsessed with as a tween, if you will. I thought 8 tracks would be kind of the perfect amount to tell the story and get the point across. So let's get into it. I picked 3 songs to represent the 3 sisters. So the first song I picked was for Iris, and I picked the song Normal Girl by SZA. So I did pay attention closely to a lot of the lyrics of these songs, and I'll go into further detail, but I chose the song for Iris because she essentially is kind of like haunted by this event that happened in her life. She's just like very stereotyped by it. She's just very stuck in this box of what had happened to her, and it's how people at school see her, and they like call her and her sisters witches. And yeah, so she really is the sister who is striving for normalcy. She just wants to be a normal girl. I thought the lyrics that really rang true to Iris were the ones where SZA sang, "Wish I was the type of girl you could take over to mama. Wish I was the type of girl my daddy would be proud of." That just like rings so true to the story, especially like the whole like that my dad would be proud of, and like they definitely just have like parental kind of issues. Them and their dad's relationship was very complicated, and them and their mom's relationship is very complicated. So I thought this fit really well. And then obviously the chorus of just like, "I wish I was a normal girl, I wish I was a normal girl," like just the repetitiveness of that just screams Iris. I also really like the part where she says, "I wish I was a normal girl, I'll never be, no, I'll never be." Like, it's just, that is the truth. She will never be a normal girl, and it's super mysterious, and I can't really tell you why, but she is just not your average girl. She is not like other girls. Another part I thought was so applicable was the part where she's like, "This time next year I'll be living so good, I'll remember no pain, I swear." And then it repeats, "Living so good, living so good, living so good," because at the end, this conflict that has happened is resolved, but it really changes all of their lives. So this concept of like, okay, a year from now, I've changed for the better and I understand myself more and I'll be living so good. I also really like this last line where it goes, "Wait on yourself because you can figure your way out." Like, that is just a huge theme of like Iris having to almost wait on herself and discover herself and find her way out of this situation that she's in. The next song I picked for Vivi is Brutal by Olivia Rodrigo. I thought this was the perfect song for Vivi. Vivi is the middle sister, and she is just like the rebellious sister and has like a bunch of piercings and tattoos and is in a band and everything. So I thought some of the lines that were so great for Vivi was the beginning part where she's like, "I'm so insecure I think that I'll die before I drink." That, first of all, like, it literally talks about how like Vivi has like a drinking problem and just like a substance abuse problem. Like, that's just how she copes. And the part where it's like, "and I'm so caught up in the news of who likes me and who hates you." Their whole story is all over the news, all over like blogs and like Reddit blogs and stuff like that. So many conspiracy theories. And so they're all like really caught up in this news of like what people think and how they have to act around others. And then when it goes, "I'm so tired that I might quit my job, start a new life," I thought this was super interesting too, because both of the older sisters practically drop out of high school and start a new life. Like, they literally just start a new life and it works out for them. Especially the lyrics, "if someone tells me one more time, enjoy your youth, I'm gonna cry." I think this just makes so much sense. Like, the fact that they were taken as children and then they got brought back, and now everyone's kind of counting on them to like make the most of their youth, but they don't really know how to do that. They're all still really lost in their own way. Even just the chorus when she goes, "all I did was try my best, this the kind of thanks I get, unrelentlessly upset. They say these are the golden years, but I wish I could disappear." Like, that just feels so Vivi, and like this whole song just feels like very Vivi-esque because it's just so like intense. If you've heard Brutal, it's just the exact vibe of this character, Vivi. And then the other lyrics that I thought were just so perfect for this are, "cause I only have two real friends." I think this is just so perfect for the fact that like all three of them are like, my sisters are my best friends. Like, I'm so deeply connected to them in a way I can't even understand. And then the part where it goes, "cause I love people I don't like and I hate every song I write." So good. I feel like the lyric, "I love people I don't like," is just so relevant towards the end of the book. And the "I hate every song I write," she's a songwriter, she's a musician, so it just makes so much sense to me. She's in a band. It's just so Vivi. The next song I chose for Grey is Better Than Revenge by Taylor Swift. I chose all of these three songs for the sisters based on a lot of the lyrics, but also like just like the energy and the vibe of the song and the music. So I chose Better Than Revenge because Grey is definitely like a really ominous character in this book, and she's told as like being this leader, being the leader of her sisters, but she has a dark side. Some of the lyrics I really liked in Better Than Revenge were, "I underestimated just who I was dealing with. She had to know this pain was beating on me like a drum." I just think this makes so much sense when you think about Grey, like underestimating who you're dealing with and not knowing really the true character of this person. Also the chorus where it goes, "she's not a saint and she's not what you think, she's an actress." When you apply that to Grey, like being like, Grey is not what you think, she definitely like puts on a facade for a lot of people, if not everyone. And I think that just makes so much sense. And the lyric, "she looks at life like it's a party and she's on the list." This was something, especially towards like the end of the book, that Iris was like, why does Grey get to keep being this supermodel after this huge conflict that happened to all of us? And she really just lives her life like it's a party and she's on the list. And the lyric, "I think her ever-present frown is a little troubling and she thinks I'm psycho." Like, so Grey. Like, Grey is just like this totally mysterious character, and the whole book you're kind of learning more and more about Grey. and what she knows that she's not telling everyone. Also, just the lyrics, like, stealing other people's toys on the playground won't make you any friends, there's nothing I do better than revenge, you might have him but I'll always get the last word, like, just all these, like, kind of nasty, like, horrible negative feeling emotions, but you get the sense that, like, this person is in charge still, like, they're in charge. I especially like this last part where it goes, and do you still feel like you know what you're doing? Because I don't think you do. Do you still feel like you know what you're doing? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Like, oh my god, it's just like, it literally, like, feels mysterious and, like, spooky and scary to me, like, when I think about those lyrics in conjunction with Gray's character and this entire book in general. So the next few songs are pertaining a lot more to the plot of the story. The next song I put on this playlist was Meet Me at Our Spot by The Anxiety. When I was making this playlist last night, some of these songs I came across, including this one, just blew me away with how relevant they are to this story. But the whole idea of this song, the whole chorus is going, meet me at our spot, there's something I have to show you. Meet me at our spot, they won't find us there. And it really alludes to this whole mystery that is happening in House of Hollow. And this whole idea of, like, meeting at our spot, like, there's definitely just really significant locations in this book that this song just makes so much sense for. I also really like the part where it's like, something got a hold of me, feel it taking over me. Like, there's this almost out of body or just some type of bodily experience that you can't quite understand. It's taking a hold of you, it's taking over you. The next song I put on this was Now I'm In It by Haim. I actually saw a TikTok of them saying that their last name is pronounced Haim, but Taylor Swift called their band Haim, and I'm like, they're besties, so maybe they just call the band name Haim, and I don't know, okay? But I needed to clarify that. This one was another one that drove me crazy about how good it fits the plot of this book. Right at the beginning, the first lyrics, looking in the mirror again and again, wishing the reflection would tell me something, I can't get a hold of myself, can't get out of this situation. When it comes to this line, I think of such a specific part in the book where Iris is looking in the mirror and something happens, and she's definitely reflecting on, like, how she's in this messed up situation and she doesn't know how to get out of it, and it just perfectly fits. Also, just the lyrics, like, we cannot be friends, we cannot pretend that this makes sense. That really embodies kind of towards the end of the book how the sisters start feeling towards each other and how their feelings are just kind of becoming very different than they were in the beginning of the book. Even just the chorus where it's going, because now I'm in it and I've been trying to find my way back for a minute. She's in this situation and it's something she's been trying to avoid for a really long time. She's just trying to be this normal girl, but now she's in this situation and she's been trying to find her way out for so long. Like, she's been trying to understand this part of herself and come out the other end. And finally, this part of the song where it goes, locking all the doors to my house, I'm alone in my head. And then it goes, can't get a read on myself, gotta change the situation. Something in the way that I felt when I woke up told me that I shouldn't give in, give up hope. Told me that I shouldn't fight what I felt. I mean, just this whole idea of, like, almost not knowing what you should do, but knowing you should either get out of this situation or push through this situation. And this idea of, like, not giving up hope and knowing that you just have to keep going, like, you can't stop at this point. And that's what the sisters really run into. They've just run into this conflict where it's like, this seems really scary and dangerous and unreal, especially because the book has a lot of, like, magical realism aspects, but the sisters just kind of keep pushing because they know that they have to find their sister and solve all these really crazy mysteries. The next song I put on this playlist is Wait a Minute by Willow. Just the lyric, I left my consciousness in the 6th dimension, but I'm here right now, right now. This idea of leaving your consciousness or leaving a part of yourself in this sort of different dimension, this sort of reality that isn't yours currently is just so prevalent to this book and makes perfect sense. One of the lines I think is perfect is when she goes, "Hold on, wait a minute, feel my heart's intention." That's just such a theme in this book of like almost feeling these like bodily urges, or like feeling these like something in your chest or like in your throat and not knowing what it is, but also kind of knowing what it is. Like all of these sisters have almost like, you could say, kind of like a psychic connection to each other. Like they just have this pull to each other that they can feel in their chest, in their heart. And the lyrics, "Some things are bound to be, some things they hurt and they tear apart me." This whole idea of like being really confused about your fate and where you come from, but the realization that some things are bound to be and they hurt and they tear you apart. It is just such a perfect song for this book. It is so relevant, it blows my mind. Oh my gosh, also the part where it goes, "Some people lie to me, some just trying to get by, some people I can't hurt, some just rather say goodbye." First of all, our main character Iris, she is getting lied to so much. She is just so far from the truth, what she thinks the truth is this entire time. I also think the line, "Some people I can't hurt," this is like such a big theme in the book, that these sisters can almost make people do stuff for them, and it's just like kind of this mysterious, like we don't really know why, but they kind of can, like they can make people do stuff for them. And Gray, the older sister, will make people do damn near anything, which often is things that will hurt them. And Iris, throughout her life, realizes that she's just not like her sister Gray, and she just can't hurt people. Like even though she has that power, she almost isn't like strong enough to wield it because she just can't hurt people the way Gray does. All right, so we are down to the last two songs. The next song I put on this playlist is Running by Nicotine. This is actually one of my favorite songs of all time. It is such a beautiful song. I highly recommend listening to it on this playlist. But right at the beginning, it starts by going, "Running, running, I've been running so long from what I don't know, it's probably nothing." And this whole theme of like running away from something and ignoring something, but also not knowing what you're running from, is so prevalent, so obvious in this whole book. I also thought the line, "Damn, I'm sure is hungry, I want my mama's cooking, but do my mama want me," was perfect. They have this sort of symptom that isn't really explained until you kind of find out why, but they're all hungry all the time and can like eat abnormal amounts of food and like never be like satiated, like never. And this whole idea of "I want my mama's cooking, but do my mama want me," their relationship with their parents is very complicated. And one of the things that we learn in the beginning of the book is that Iris's mom, Kate, doesn't let them call her mom or mama. She only lets them call her Kate. Then at some point, Iris does call her mama, and she's like, "Don't call me that. You know I don't like to be called that." And it's not that her mom's mean towards her. Her and Iris actually have a really good relationship, it seems, but she doesn't want to be called mom. Also, the lyric, "I kissed my brother on his head, asked him to stay strong for me." I know this says brother instead of sister, but I thought it really made sense with the whole theme of sisterhood and the fact that both the sisters leave the house and Iris kind of has to be like the lone child. And it's definitely obvious that once the two sisters leave, that Iris feels lonely without them, and there's a different bond between all of them when they're all separated. And then of course the part where it says, "People keep asking me shit that sets off my trigger." Throughout the entire book, Iris is really, at least towards the beginning, Iris is really trying to not dwell on her past and is really trying to move forward, but people just are not letting her, like, at all. I also love the part where it goes, "And everybody swears they gotta know everything, but all I know is that life is a tricky game." And then she goes, "Here I am back at one trying to start again." I think that is just so relevant. The fact that like she doesn't know everything and everyone is so curious about her personal life, but she's just like, all I know is that life's weird, life's a tricky game. And the fact that by the end of this book she really like makes her journey back to the beginning, back at one, trying to start again, it's perfect. The last song I put on this playlist was Nothing Revealed, Everything Denied by the 1975. First of all, I just feel like this title makes complete sense when thinking of the correlation to the book, like Nothing Revealed, Everything Denied. This chorus is perfect where it goes, life feels like a lie, I need something to be true. And then it goes, life feels like there's something missing, maybe it's you. Just the whole idea of life feeling like a lie and just so strongly desiring for something to feel true, something to feel real, something to feel honest. Also, this one part, I don't have it memorized because the lyrics in the song in this like one section are like almost robotic sounding, but the lyrics made perfect sense. So they go, you can't live in denial, love, setting it right, because if nothing is revealed, everything denied, learn up yourself before you talk it. Just this whole message of if nothing's revealed, like the truth isn't coming to light, then everything's just being denied. You're just not knowing your real self. And the line like learn up yourself before you talk it, Iris is just definitely like, at least in the beginning of this book, totally unaware of her true self and her inner power. She is just not aware of that at all. I thought the part in the middle of the book, sort of, where they're first kind of almost solving this mystery or finding the first little pieces and putting them together, really made sense with this line, which is, and I get somewhere, I don't like it, get somewhere, change my mind, get somewhere but don't find it, I don't find what I'm looking for. The way they are chasing after these sort of clues and these breadcrumbs that Gray is leaving them, and they get somewhere but they don't like it, or they get somewhere and it doesn't make sense and they change their mind. And this whole idea that they are not finding what they're looking for, they're finding clues, they're finding bits and pieces, but they're not finding what they're looking for yet. Those are all the songs for the playlist I made for House of Hollow. This was so fun just to kind of figure out what songs match the themes and the plot and the characters of this book. I would love to do this with a bunch more of my favorite books. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll link the playlist down below if you want to check it out. It's only 8 songs, so it's about a half hour long. Let me know what you think. If you've read the book, that's even cooler because you can listen to it and kind of, you know, match up exactly what I was thinking at the time of making it. Yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you very soon in the new video. Bye guys!